Okay, so this is phase 2. This is the actual instruction. If you've got your USB portal set up, I'm really rigging this today. So this is my USB portal. And this is I'm going to show you last year's situation. So the problem with some of the encryption stuff is that the wireless devices and then the changes to G5, there's a weird sync up. And then if you have your devices connected, sharing them to your Roku or your Apple TV or whatever it is, your phone, and you're doing screen mirroring, there's just some issues periodically. I'm not going to get into the year of computer that I have. So I'm going to shrink this screen down a little bit just to kind of micro manage. So here's my photos. Here is my USB portal. When you're transferring the files, obviously you can select other images and then you can pull all of these files over to the selected screen file. And see, here's my files. I'm going to just generically get insects. Again, I've got my basic working screen shrunk down quite a bit just to show you how to navigate through some of this crap. It comes up often. So I keep the wildlife separate because there's just, it is a huge file, and that's why I'm using last year's database, because I want you to understand that there's just a lot of images. And then so when I was trying to transfer a larger section of files, see, I would hyper pull this entire situation. Is going to be a 28 zoom in on that. I can't do it. Just kind of, I'm going to show you this real quick. I'm having to do this one hand. So if I were going to pull, you know, I was going to grab all of these that have been selected. There's 28. I would say it kind of starts acting up anything over 10 files that you're trying to drag over. So what you're going to have to do is you've got to go over to your preferences, pull system preferences, go into your mouse. And again, because it's older equipment, these things are going to change periodically when you switch your wires over. There was a horrible hack where some equipment crossed over. It's not because it's bad equipment. Don't throw your equipment away. It's just obvious that, you know, that things are changing. And so make sure that you adjust your needs. But if this starts happening when you've grabbed, you know, over 5 files and it'll start back kicking it. I also noticed there was some stuff where I could no longer load from iPhoto to Chrome, just generically, like a whole bunch of files. It would not accept it. I would have to select the files that I wanted, you know, say generically this was what I wanted, and then I would have to move it to the screen, the basic desktop screen. And so obviously I'm trying not to do that today. It's going to make a bigger mess later for me. Make sure that you go back check your preferences, anything on wireless, anytime you turn your computer off. I'm kind of dealing with a bigger situation sometimes. It's not just a phone. Whatever you're using to do your phone transfers with, if you're uploading to a laptop or a tablet, just make sure that you're, aware that when you're trying to do some of this stuff, it may not be your equipment, may not be China, may not be Russia. They're going to watch us, we watch them. It's just kind of inevitable. If we're dealing with military equipment, you're going to have to deal with military problems periodically. But check your system preferences. Make sure that, anything above 1 or, 3 to 5 files, you're not saying it's your equipment being hacked and wigging out about all this garbage. So just a fair warning. I just wanted to let you guys know that is part of the situation, which may or may not be El Capitan situation. So that's more connected to how you can upgrade and stay on top of OS. And so sometimes past a point it won't upgrade past OS where you can use internet. They've done some things where, now Safari will not operate correctly on an older computer, and then they've made these changes where we have to use Chrome. It's been the mandatory browser. I'm not going to get into that theory. So have a good day. Thank you. Good morning. So we are transferring our files from images, and then if you have your USB, I apologize, I'm really having to kind of rig the situation until this other ARM kit gets here. So what we have is, so you'll have your files and you can kind of see I have a very large database. This is just the insect part. It's kind of up there on how many images I have, and this is just for this year, and so this is the insect file. My apologies, the grids on the screen, and then so coming back here, you can see that my file has really just filled up like to the max. I just removed several of those things this morning. And then so I was going to show you midway through, because there have been some complications as the technology has changed from G5, and so some people have complained about not being able to get their files transferred accurately, and then their devices are filling up. So I just wanted to get on here and explain a couple of things regarding that situation for the video module classes. And then again, I'm apologizing for periodically this grid stuff right here that's popping up. It's just because of how I'm having to film the transfer classes. And then so I wanted to show you when you're getting built up to like this amount, and so this is when your computer will start kind of acting weird, anything up through like 2020. And so you will want to have a larger USB situation to compact those files. And then so I was going to show you, when you're getting up to that amount, and there's video and there's film and all this stuff, you're definitely going to want to get that off of the computer. I've been removing chunks of it during my time off. Again, I'm just, reminding you, when you get to these higher numbers, and certainly anything that's getting up to like 2,000, this is below that, pretty dramatically, but your computer is just going to start assing out. And this is a PC, it's not a laptop. I can get the files up there pretty high without a USB, but I'm just, letting you know that if you don't stay on top of getting the files transferred, you will have undermining complications moving forward. There was a issue with an encryption program called El Capitan. So it's been a permanent glitch in Apple. They have been doing a lot of things to